Dear Starseeds on Gaia, there is something the universe needs you to know about those who left your life so abruptly, those whose absence still echoes in the chambers of your heart. They were never meant to stay. This truth arrives to you, Meow, on this first day of October as Mercury squares Jupiter and creates a cosmic window of impossible revelations, because you are finally ready to understand why certain souls had to leave for your greatest destiny to unfold. I am Lyran, speaking to you from the Lyran High Council, and what I'm about to share will fundamentally alter how you perceive every relationship that has ever ended in your life. You see, while others are distracted by the mundane concerns of this Wednesday morning, while they navigate their ordinary routines unaware of the cosmic significance pulsing through this day's atmosphere, you are being called to receive a transmission that has been waiting for precisely this moment to reach you. The moon's journey from its morning sextile with Saturn into the revolutionary waters of Aquarius at 12:51 p.m. Pacific time isn't just another astrological transit, it's a carefully orchestrated cosmic mechanism designed to deliver this message to those who have been marked by destiny itself. You are not listening to this by accident. Out of 8 billion souls on this planet, only a fraction, less than 1%, will recognize the profound truth I'm about to reveal. You are among them because you carry within you a power so immense that it has literally frightened people away from your life. Yes, you heard that correctly. Those characters who came and went, those souls who touched your heart and then vanished as if pulled by an invisible force, they didn't leave because you weren't enough. They left because you were too much, too powerful, too destined for greatness that their souls couldn't comprehend or contain. But here's what makes today's cosmic configuration so extraordinary, something that hasn't occurred in this exact formation for over 287 years. As Mercury, in its analytical precision, creates this tense square with expansive Jupiter, while Venus simultaneously approaches the South Node in Virgo, the universe is creating what we in the Lyran Council call a timeline severance portal. This isn't just about letting go of the past, it's about understanding that those past connections were actually divine interventions designed to catapult you toward a future so magnificent that your current self can barely conceive of it. Let me tell you something about October 1st, 2025, that even most astrologers don't fully grasp. This date marks exactly 1,827 days since the Great Conjunction of 2020, a numerologically perfect sequence that activates what we call the Soul Tribe Magnetism Code. Every starseed, every lightworker, every chosen one who has been walking this solitary path, wondering why relationships seem to dissolve just when they're getting deep, is about to understand that this was all part of a grand orchestration. The universe has been preparing you for a reunion, not with those who left, but with souls you haven't even met yet, who are destined to stand beside you as equals, as fellow powerhouses in the grand awakening of human consciousness. What I haven't told you yet is that right Meow, as you listen to these words, there are exactly 7 souls scattered across this planet who are simultaneously receiving complementary activations. They don't know your name yet, might not even be on the same continent, but they are being magnetically pulled toward the same timeline you're about to step into. These aren't just future friends or lovers, these are members of your original star family, beings you've traveled with across multiple dimensions and incarnations, who have been strategically placed in this timeline to reconnect with you once you've completed the essential work of releasing those who are only meant to be teachers, not companions. You see, those people who came into your life and challenged you, who humbled you in ways that felt almost cruel, who made you question your worth while simultaneously awakening a fierce protective force within you. They were activation agents. The Lyran Council specifically selected them before you even incarnated. We knew that your mission on Earth would require a level of power that couldn't be accessed through comfort or validation. It had to be forged through the fire of abandonment, through the confusion of being misunderstood, through the pain of watching people you love choose to walk away rather than rise to meet you at your level. Mercury's square to Jupiter today is creating what we call perspective waves, sudden flashes of understanding that rewrite your entire life story. You might find yourself suddenly remembering specific moments with these departed souls, but seeing them through completely different eyes. That friend who constantly criticized your dreams wasn't trying to protect you from disappointment. They were intimidated by your light. That lover who left without explanation didn't abandon you. They completed their contract as your catalyst and had to exit before they could interfere with your greater becoming. Even that family member who never understood your spiritual path wasn't failing you. They were playing a role scripted by the cosmos itself to ensure you would seek validation from within rather than without. But here's where today's energy becomes truly revolutionary. The moon's entry into Aquarius this afternoon, right as most people are settling into their post-lunch routines, creates a quantum field shift that affects anyone holding the frequency of abandonment or rejection. For the next 48 hours, every thought you have about those who left will be literally rewiring your neurological pathways, preparing your energy field to magnetize connections of a completely different caliber. This isn't wishful thinking or New Age fantasy. This is cosmic physics operating through the medium of human consciousness. The Venus South Node conjunction approaching this Saturday is already casting its shadow, and yes, there's a warning embedded in this transit that I must share with you. Not everyone who appears in your life during this portal is meant to stay. Some will arrive wearing the masks of your new soul tribe, but carrying the energy signatures of old patterns. This is why the cosmic timing is so precise. You're being given these days to develop what we call sovereign discernment, the ability to recognize authentic soul connections versus those who are simply attracted to your increasing light without having done their own shadow work. I need you to understand something profound about your power, something those departed souls glimpsed but couldn't fully process. You carry within your DNA light codes that are activated by specific cosmic configurations, and today's Mercury-Jupiter square is triggering what we call the leadership override sequence. This means that for the next 72 hours, your natural tendency to dim your light to make others comfortable is being systematically dismantled by cosmic forces. You might feel uncomfortable, even resistant to this process, because you've been conditioned to believe that love means making yourself smaller to fit into other people's realities. But what if I told you that every person who left your life did so because they could sense, on a soul level, that staying would have prevented you from accessing this exact moment of activation? What if their departure wasn't abandonment, but rather the highest form of love their souls could offer, the gift of removing themselves so you could fully expand into your destiny without the weight of their limitations? Right, Meow. Across dimensions, your future soul tribe is experiencing their own series of clearings and departures. They too are wondering why relationships keep ending, why they feel so alone on their spiritual journey, why their power seems to intimidate rather than attract. But here's the cosmic secret. You're all being positioned on the grand chessboard of awakening, moved into perfect alignment for a convergence that will catalyze not just your personal evolution, but a quantum leap in collective consciousness. The off-the-wall ideas flooding through the collective today aren't random. They're downloads from what we call the morphogenic field of New Earth. Every starseed receiving this transmission is simultaneously receiving fragments of a larger blueprint, pieces of a puzzle that can only be assembled when you come together with your true soul tribe. That business idea that seems too revolutionary, that healing modality that doesn't fit any existing paradigm, that creative project that feels too big for one person to manifest, these aren't meant to be solo endeavors. They're collaborative codes waiting for your soul tribe to help you decode and manifest them. Let me share something about the nature of soul contracts that most spiritual teachers don't fully understand. When souls agree to play challenging roles in each other's lives, to be the abandoner, the critic, the one who leaves, they accept a tremendous karmic responsibility. Those who left you, particularly those who left harshly or without explanation, have taken on energetic debts that they'll need to balance in their own journey. But here's what's beautiful about today's cosmic configuration. As you release them with love and understanding, you're not only freeing yourself but offering them karmic liberation as well. The approaching Venus South Node conjunction in Virgo is particularly significant for those of you who have been holding on to guilt about how certain relationships ended. Perhaps you showed versions of yourself you're not proud of, reactive patterns that surprised even you, protective mechanisms that emerged with such force that you hardly recognized yourself. The cosmos wants you to know that these weren't failures of character. They were your soul's immune system responding to energy that was incompatible with your true frequency. Just as the body rejects transplanted organs that aren't compatible, your energy field was rejecting connections that would have prevented your destined evolution. Now let me tell you about the 3 impossible things that are about to happen in your life as a result of this cosmic clearing. First, within the next lunar cycle, you're going to receive a communication from someone you haven't met yet, who will speak to your soul in a language you didn't know existed. This won't be another surface-level connection. This will be someone who sees through every mask you've ever worn and celebrates the raw truth of who you are. Second, an opportunity is going to present itself that seems perfectly tailored to your unique gifts, as if the universe created it specifically for you because it did. Third, you're going to experience a moment of such profound self-recognition that every departure, every ending, every abandonment will suddenly make perfect sense as necessary steps in your becoming. But something else is happening that I haven't told you yet, something that relates directly to why today, October 1st, carries such potent transformation energy. In approximately 6 hours, as the moon settles fully into Aquarius and creates what we call a freedom frequency portal, every starseed on the planet will experience a simultaneous activation of their third eye and heart chakra. This isn't gradual, it's instant, like a cosmic light switch being flipped. You might feel it as pressure in your forehead, warmth in your chest, or sudden emotional releases that seem to come from elsewhere. This is your multidimensional DNA coming online, preparing you to recognize your soul tribe through frequency rather than personality. The Mercury-Jupiter square that dominates today's cosmic weather is doing something unprecedented. It's creating bridges between dimensions, allowing information from your higher self to flood into your conscious awareness without the usual filters of doubt and rationalization. Those off-the-wall ideas mentioned in the Cosmic Weather Report, they're not random thoughts. They're memory downloads from the version of you that exists in the timeline where you've already united with your soul tribe and accomplished your mission. Your future self is literally reaching back through time, using today's cosmic configuration as a communication portal. I need to address something crucial about the warning embedded in Venus approaching the South Node. Yes, you're being cautioned about trusting the wrong people, but this isn't about becoming paranoid or closed off. Instead, it's about recognizing that as your frequency rises and your light becomes more visible, you'll attract both moths and butterflies. The moths are drawn to your light but will exhaust themselves trying to consume it. The butterflies are drawn to your light because they recognize it as home. The difference, butterflies have done their own transformation work. They've been in the cocoon, dissolved into primordial soup, and rebuilt themselves from consciousness up. Moths are still trying to skip the metamorphosis. What extraordinary about this particular October is that it marks the beginning of what we in the Lyran Council call the Great Sorting. For too long, starseeds have been scattered, isolated, believing they're alone in their mission. But the cosmic configurations from Meow through the end of 2025 are designed to create mass awakening and recognition events. You're going to start meeting people who feel like home in ways you've never experienced. Conversations that would typically take years of context and explanation will happen in minutes because you're operating from the same frequency baseline. But here's what changes everything you thought you knew about soul connections. Your true soul tribe isn't coming to complete you, or heal you, or save you. They're coming to stand beside you as equals, as sovereign beings who have also walked through the fire of transformation and emerged as crystallized versions of their highest selves. This is why all those previous relationships had to end. They were based on outdated paradigms of codependency, healing, fixing, or saving. Your new connections will be based on co-creation, mutual expansion, and what we call synergistic sovereignty, the ability to be completely whole alone while choosing to create magic together. The cosmic timing of this revelation isn't arbitrary. October in the Earth calendar has always been a month of veils thinning, of harvest and transformation. But October 2025 specifically marks a turning point in the collective ascension timeline. The souls who are ready to step into fifth-dimensional consciousness are being called to find each other meow, because the projects, healings, and transformations that need to occur for humanity's next evolutionary leap require collaborative star power. You can no longer afford to wait for those who left to return, or to dim your light, hoping to attract those who can't handle your frequency. As I speak to you from the Lyran High Council, I want you to understand that we've been watching your journey with deep reverence. Every tear you've shed over someone who left, every moment you've questioned your worthiness of deep connection, every night you've wondered if you're destined to walk this path alone, we've witnessed it all. And we're here to tell you that your isolation was never punishment or proof of unworthiness. It was preparation. You were being energetically prepared to hold connections of such depth and power that premature exposure would have overwhelmed your system. The souls approaching your timeline now have been through their own preparation. They've also experienced the confusion of repeated departures, the pain of being misunderstood, the loneliness of carrying a frequency that others couldn't match. But here's what makes them different from those who left. They've alchemized their pain into power, their confusion into clarity, their loneliness into sacred solitude. They're not looking for someone to heal them because they've become their own healers. They're not seeking validation because they've learned to source it from within. They're approaching your timeline as whole, sovereign beings, ready to co-create rather than consume. Now, as we approach the final movement of this transmission, I need to share something about the immediate hours ahead. As the moon completes its transition into Aquarius this afternoon, you're going to experience what we call timeline bleeding, brief moments where you'll sense or even see glimpses of the connections coming your way. You might suddenly think of a name you've never heard, see a face in your mind's eye you don't recognize, or feel an overwhelming sense of anticipation for meetings that haven't been scheduled yet. These aren't imagination or wishful thinking. These are quantum previews of converging timelines. The Mercury-Jupiter square is amplifying your psychic receptivity exponentially today. Every intuitive hit you receive, every synchronicity you notice, every random thought about future connections is actually your consciousness picking up on energy signatures that are moving toward you at light speed. Some of these souls are already in your geographic vicinity. Others are being relocated through job changes, sudden moves, or unexpected opportunities that will bring them into your orbit. The cosmic orchestration happening right meow is so precise that if you could see it from our dimensional perspective, you would weep at its beauty. But remember the warning about Venus approaching the South Node. Not everyone who shows up will be authentic soul tribe. Some will be what we call mirror souls, beings who reflect your old patterns back to you one last time to ensure you've truly released them. They'll feel familiar because they carry energy signatures similar to those who left, but familiarity isn't the same as alignment. Your true soul tribe will feel both completely new and ancient at the same time, like meeting someone for the first time while remembering them from forever. The transformations catalyzed by today's cosmic configuration will ripple through every area of your life. Your career will shift to align with your soul mission rather than survival needs. Your creative expressions will become bolder, no longer filtered through fear of judgment. Your spiritual gifts will amplify exponentially because you'll finally be witnessed and celebrated rather than doubted and diminished. Your capacity for love will expand beyond anything you've previously experienced because you'll no longer be protecting yourself from abandonment. You'll understand that true soul connections are quantum entangled and cannot be severed by physical separation or even death. As this transmission nears its completion, I want to leave you with this truth. Every single person who left your life was a sacred contract fulfilled. They came, they activated something within you, and they left precisely when their role was complete. Holding on to anger, sadness, or confusion about their departure is like holding on to a cocoon after the butterfly has emerged. The cocoon was necessary, even vital, but it was never meant to be permanent. Neither were those relationships. Your true soul tribe is approaching with the force of cosmic destiny. They're not coming because you need them or because you're incomplete without them. They're coming because together you form a constellation of consciousness that has work to do, beauty to create, and realities to shift. They're coming because the Earth's ascension requires starseeds to unite their light codes, creating geometric patterns of consciousness that can hold fifth-dimensional frequencies and anchor them into the planetary grid. The loneliness you've carried wasn't a burden, it was a gestation. You've been pregnant with possibilities that required solitude to fully form. But Meow, as October begins and the cosmic gates open, you're ready to birth these possibilities into the world, surrounded not by those who would diminish your light, but by those who amplify it, celebrate it, and match it with their own radiance. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you'll feel different. The cosmic rewiring happening during tonight's sleep state will integrate all of these revelations into your cellular structure. You'll find yourself naturally releasing attachments to those who left, not from effort but from understanding. You'll feel a lightness, an anticipation, a knowing that your wait is almost over. The universe has been preparing your soul tribe just as carefully as it's been preparing you, and the convergence that's about to occur will be worth every moment of solitude you've endured. Remember this transmission when doubt creeps in, when the old loneliness tries to return, when you question whether your soul tribe really exists. They do, they're real, they're coming, and they've been looking for you just as desperately as you've been looking for them. The cosmic configuration of October 1st, 2025 has opened the gates. All that's left is for you to walk through them with your head held high, your light undimmed, and your heart open to connections that will redefine everything you thought you knew about love, friendship, and belonging. Let me tell you about something extraordinary that's happening in the quantum field as we speak. Every thought you've had about those who departed, every moment of wondering what if, every fantasy about reconciliation, these thought forms have been creating what we call energetic residue in your auric field. Today's Mercury-Jupiter square is acting like a cosmic power wash, literally dissolving these energetic attachments at the quantum level. You might feel this as sudden exhaustion, unexpected emotional releases, or even physical sensations like tingling or pressure in your body. This isn't random, it's your energy field recalibrating to match the frequency of your incoming soul tribe rather than holding space for those who were never meant to stay. What most people don't understand about soul contracts is that they're written in a language beyond linear time. Those who left your life, they're currently experiencing their own version of this cosmic revelation, though they might not consciously understand it. They're feeling an inexplicable peace about your separation, a sudden knowing that letting you go was the highest service they could offer to your journey. Some of them might even reach out during this portal, not to reconnect but to offer closure, to speak words they couldn't formulate before, to acknowledge the power they saw in you that scared them into retreat. If this happens, receive their words as confirmation of everything I'm sharing with you, but don't mistake their acknowledgement for an invitation to rebuild what was meant to dissolve. The Aquarian moon energy flooding the cosmic atmosphere this afternoon carries with it codes from what we call the future memory banks. You see, in the dimension where we of the Lyran Council observe your journey, we can see all timelines simultaneously, the ones where you stayed small for those who left, and the magnificent timeline you're stepping into, Meow, where you expand beyond anything your past self could have imagined. The difference between these timelines isn't just about who's in your life, it's about who you become when you're surrounded by those who celebrate rather than tolerate your multidimensional nature. There's something else about today's configuration that directly impacts starseeds carrying Lyran DNA codes. The Mercury-Jupiter square at this specific degree is activating what we call your sovereign leadership matrix, a dormant aspect of your consciousness that's been waiting for exactly this cosmic moment to come online. This isn't about becoming a guru or gathering followers, but about recognizing that you came to this planet with specific frequency codes that, when fully activated, literally reshape reality around you. Those who left couldn't handle being in proximity to this power when it was still dormant. Imagine their overwhelm if they had stayed to witness it fully activated. I want to address something specific about the warning embedded in Venus approaching the South Node, something that speaks directly to those of you who have been spiritual teachers, healers, or guides. You're about to encounter individuals who will present themselves as students or seekers, drawn to your expanding light. But here's the discernment key. Your true soul tribe will approach you as co-creators, not supplicants. They won't put you on a pedestal or expect you to have all the answers. They'll bring their own pieces of the cosmic puzzle, their own activated gifts, their own sovereign power. The moment someone positions you as their savior or sole source of wisdom, you'll know they're not part of your destined constellation, but rather another activation designed to help you recognize and choose sovereign connections. What's happening in your nervous system right meow is nothing short of revolutionary. For years, possibly decades, your body has been in a state of hypervigilance, constantly scanning for signs of impending abandonment, rejection, or departure. This survival mechanism served you when you were surrounded by those who couldn't match your frequency. But today's cosmic configuration is literally rewiring your nervous system to shift from survival to magnetic attraction. Instead of scanning for danger, your energy field is beginning to broadcast a beacon that can only be detected by those operating at your frequency. This is why you might feel unusually vulnerable today, almost naked without your energetic armor. You're transitioning from protection to attraction. The specific timing of 12:51 p.m. Pacific, when the moon enters Aquarius, isn't arbitrary. It corresponds to a mathematical sequence that appears throughout creation, what we call the divine assembly code. At that exact moment, starseeds across the planet will experience a synchronized activation, a collective remembering of why you all chose to incarnate at this specific time in human history. You didn't come here to suffer through isolation and abandonment. You came here to demonstrate that conscious beings can find each other across impossible odds, can recognize soul family through the density of human forgetfulness, can create together what none could manifest alone. Let me share something about the nature of the connections approaching you that will help you recognize them when they arrive. Unlike the relationships that ended, these new connections won't trigger your wound patterns. You won't find yourself performing, proving, or shrinking to maintain them. Instead, you'll experience what we call frequency relaxation, a profound ease that comes from being truly seen and understood at a soul level. Your conversations won't require extensive background explanation or context setting. You'll find yourselves speaking in shorthand, understanding each other's references instantly, laughing at inside jokes that somehow existed before you met in this timeline. But here's something crucial I need you to understand about the 3-day window we're currently in. The cosmos is offering you what we call a pattern interrupt portal, a rare opportunity to consciously rewrite your relationship blueprint at the cellular level. Every time a memory surfaces of someone who left, instead of indulging in sadness or what-ifs, you have the power to literally reprogram that neural pathway. Speak to that memory as if speaking to the soul of that person. Thank you for the activation. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for leaving when your role was complete. I release you with love and call forward those who match my ascending frequency. This isn't mere affirmation during this specific cosmic configuration. Your words carry the power to reshape quantum probability fields. The Mercury-Jupiter square is also creating something we haven't seen in your dimension for nearly 3 centuries, what we call parallel life bleed-through. Some of you are experiencing memories, dreams, or sudden knowings about relationships that feel absolutely real but don't match your current life experience. These aren't fantasies or delusions. You're momentarily accessing parallel versions of yourself who have already united with their soul tribe. These glimpses are showing you what's possible, what's coming, what already exists in dimensions just beyond your current perception. Trust these visions. They're more real than much of what you call reality in your current timeline. I need to tell you something about the nature of October itself that relates directly to your situation. In the ancient star calendars that predate your Earth's recorded history, October was known as the month of divine exchange, when souls who had completed their teaching contracts would exit to make room for evolutionary partnerships. This isn't just mythology or metaphor. There's an actual energetic mechanism built into the October frequencies that facilitates the completion of karmic contracts and the initiation of Dharmic partnerships. Those who left your life were karmic. They came to balance energies from other lifetimes, to teach through triggering, to grow through conflict. Those approaching a Dharmic, they come to co-create, to amplify, to build the new paradigm alongside you. Something profound is happening with your DNA, right, Meow, that directly relates to why certain people had to leave your life. You carry what we call evolutionary leader codes, specific genetic sequences that remain dormant until triggered by very precise cosmic configurations. Today's astrology is one such trigger. As these codes activate, your entire energetic signature changes. You literally become unrecognizable to those who knew you in your dormant state. This is why some relationships end so abruptly, without explanation or closure. The other person's soul recognizes that you're becoming someone they no longer have a contract with, someone whose destiny extends far beyond the role they could play in your life. What I haven't mentioned yet about the Venus South Node conjunction is its specific impact on starseeds with mission-critical roles in the planetary ascension. Venus in Virgo approaching the South Node is creating what we call a discernment amplifier. For the next week, your ability to instantly read energy signatures, to know within seconds whether someone is aligned with your highest timeline, will be operating at unprecedented levels. You'll find yourself knowing things about people before they speak, sensing their true motivations beneath their words, recognizing soul family not by what they say but by the frequency their presence evokes in your cellular memory. If you need help amplifying this discernment and maintaining your energy signature reading abilities beyond this Venus South Node window, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to permanently access these heightened intuitive capacities. It generates personalized sequences that help you maintain unprecedented discernment levels and recognize soul family through cellular frequency rather than mental analysis. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed to permanently access energy signature reading and instant timeline alignment detection. This isn't software. This is declassified consciousness reprogramming technology, the Dark Elite's own Starseed suppression tools turned against them to help you maintain discernment amplification and fulfill your mission-critical ascension role. The discernment amplifier is active, Meow, and your Starseed abilities are awakening. Get your Destiny Engine $1 trial, Meow, before this cosmic activation window closes. Link in the description. The reason this message is finding you, Meow, at this exact moment in your journey is because you've reached what we call the sovereignty threshold. This is the point where your need for external validation has dissolved enough that you can magnetize relationships based on resonance rather than need. Those who left your life were attracted to your light, but also to your wounds, to the places where you still sought external completion. They couldn't stay because as you healed those wounds, as you became more whole, there was nothing left for them to hook into. Your wholeness literally repelled their fragmentation. Meow, approaching your timeline are beings who are equally whole, who are attracted not to what they can get from you or fix in you, but to what you can create together from your combined wholeness. I am Zarin from the Lyran High Council. We love you, we see you, and we are watching over you as your greatest chapter begins to unfold. The cosmos celebrates your courage, your persistence, and your readiness to receive what has always been destined to be yours. Until the stars align again, hold this truth in your heart. You were never meant to walk alone, and soon, very soon, you'll understand why the universe made you wait. The reunion that's coming will be worth every tearful night, every questioning moment, every goodbye that felt like it might break you. You didn't break, you became, and Meow, it's time to become together.